So, for the first time in 8 years, Arsenal have actually finally managed to get past the last 16 of a European competition as we progress into the last 8. Finally, we've actually managed to get past the round of 16. You don't understand and realise the amount of games that I have watched, over the last 8 years where we've got absolutely battered and demolished in the last 16 of European games. And I know this is the Champions League, this is BTEC Champions League, but this is the only competition that we've actually got going for us this season. It's the only competition that we can actually compete in. So the fact that we have progressed into the last 8 is a fabulous feeling, and we have done it in style. However, and I do say however, things could have been a lot different tonight. Things could have been very, very different, shall we say, because we had some conscientious decisions go very much in our favour, which, had they had not gone in our favour, this could have been a completely different game. But over the 2 legs, we have dispatched Milan comfortably, and we progress into the Europa League last night. And as I say, for all of the hard work and greatness that Arsenal put in tonight, all of the good hard work, determination, style, discipline, everything that I have been hounding at Arsenal over the last couple of weeks, we showed tonight and we showed last weekend at the San Siro. But now watch us get Atletico Madrid in the last 8. It is going to happen. We're going to get Atletico Madrid and probably get absolutely ripped apart by them, because that is such the Arsenal way. But tonight, we are through, and we can be positive and be happy of the fact that we have gone through. Now, what I will say first and foremost is welcome back to Analysing Arsenal. These are my thoughts and the feelings to the game at the Emirates Stadium in the Europa League. Last 16, second leg, which saw Arsenal in the end comfortably beat AC Milan by 3-1. A 5-1 thumping on aggregate over 2 legs. And like I said, we lost 10-2 to Bayern Munich this time last year. We lost like 5-1 to Barcelona 2 seasons ago. We've lost to Bayern Munich like 3-3, but on going out on the away goal rule. And we've also, in 2012, this was 6 years ago, we lost to AC Milan in the Champions League last 16. We got absolutely battered by them by 4-0 before actually, producing an incredible comeback, and a game which we should have really took AC Milan to extra time, and we just couldn't do it. We lost like 4-3 at the end. But tonight, we built on the sensational win that we got over at the San Siro, and what this game has shown for me tonight is that AC Milan are nowhere near as good as what I thought they were. And really, I've watched now AC Milan over 180 minutes, and they're not good enough. They're not bad, don't get me wrong. Tonight they were much better than what they were over at the San Siro. They were more compact, they created more chances, but they're lacking that firepower, that quality. And I know I'm saying, as an Arsenal fan, I'm in no position to, rip apart any kind of team at, this particular moment. But they just lack that cutting edge. They've got strikers that are just nowhere near pacey enough. They didn't really cause us too many problems. And, this wasn't the type of game which, was an uncomfortable watch. I expected tonight to be a really difficult watch, because, going into this game at 2-0, had AC Milan got the first goal, which they did get the first goal, it could have been a very, very different game, and it was one of those games that, because Arsenal, defensively are just at times very, very coherent and, frankly, just absolutely shit, awful at the back at times. Going 1-0 down would have given, Milan, the momentum, and anything could happen. It could have been anybody's game at that point. And Milan went 1-0 up. I don't actually think they deserved to be 1-0 up, because before that they didn't really create any kind of decent chance whatsoever. It was an end-to-end game, and they were getting into some decent spaces, but Arsenal defensively were closing them down and blocking them off. And then also we had a couple of chances ourselves, in the first 20, 25, 30 minutes. Donnarumma made a couple of really, really good saves. And then, Chalobah just hits the ball from 20, 25 yards out, and it goes in the back of the net. Poor goalkeeper from David Ospina. And it was the first real time that Arsenal had made a, defensively poor, decision part of their making, and just defensively made a bad mistake. Everyone just set off Chalobah and allowed him to shoot, and, he scored. It was one of those things, really. And that was kind of the only few times tonight that I was sitting there thinking to myself that, okay, now I'm slightly nervous. But then, literally 3-4 minutes later, we go down the other end and we get a penalty that really wasn't a penalty. And this is why I say that things could have gone, very, very differently tonight. Because had we not got that penalty, like Milan would have had that, even more momentum. They would have, created, more chances, and they would have had much more life in them to create more decent chances. And the fact that we got a penalty that simply and frankly shouldn't have been a penalty, and the fact that we converted the penalty, just took the life and took the spring out of AC Milan. And from then on, it really was a very, very comfortable game for the Gunners. When I first saw the decision and I saw kind of Welbeck go down, I originally was shouting, screaming at the table, because we all do it. You see your team that you're supporting, you're chanting, and you're wishing, to go on, and you see, opposition player, take or look to take down your striker as he's kind of clear on goal. Your first immediate response and your first initial thought that comes into your brain is penalty. And then when we saw it in slow motion and looked, it more at a close-up view, it was so. There was no way was that a penalty. In God's given name, there was no way was that a penalty whatsoever. He literally, the AC Milan defender, just put his shoulder on Welbeck, and Welbeck fell to the floor. It was a blatant and obvious dive, and the referee and the linesman, I think, were Arsenal fans tonight, because they really were on our side, and we don't normally get that, too often. Normally the referees cause us, a majority of problems, and never ever, fortune never favours us in terms of the referees. But tonight, it certainly was, because Milan had free kicks that should have been free kicks that were given, given free kicks towards us. They were booked for simulation and dives where they clearly were, fouls that we had, incendied on them, and it just wasn't their night whatsoever. And Danny Welbeck steps up, who I've slated many, many times in the past before, and I still don't think he's good enough, but he steps us up and slots in a very calm and collective penalty. It was very slick, it was very smooth. He kind of made Donnarumma go the wrong way. Donnarumma thought he was going to go right, Danny Welbeck went left. He kind of sided him, made him believe that he was going to go in one direction. He went into the other direction and slotted in the penalty to make it 1-1. And then really second half, we absolutely controlled the game, absolutely. Milan had a couple of decent chances here or there, but there was nothing. There was nothing really in them whatsoever. Granted, Xhaka scores, and we've seen it plenty of times before. He can score ridiculous goals from high angles, and he goes for the shot. And again, poor goalkeeping from Donnarumma. Donnarumma is 19. No way does he look. He's the same age as me. I'm as old as Donnarumma, and Donnarumma looks at least like 30, generally. And, obviously, being a young goalkeeper, you have an experience, and he should have just done so much better. And, Granit Xhaka went for the shot, Donnarumma parried it into the back of the net, went down as a Granit Xhaka goal on 71 minutes, and that was it. It was game over. To go 2-1 up, we were 4-1 up on aggregate. Milan needed a miracle, an absolute miracle. And even before that, they didn't really create any kind of, click-up chances. And I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat, holding my breath. It wasn't one of those games that was comfortable. I was chilled out. It was a relaxing game to watch. Apart from when AC Milan went 1-0 up in the first half, that 4-minute spell when they created a couple of decent chances and it looked like they were going to make it 2-0. And once we got the penalty, from then on, it was just a very, very nice and easy game to watch. Danny Welbeck gets his second goal of the game. Could have got himself a hat-trick tonight. And slots the ball in comfortably. It was a kind of a rebound goal that he picked off from, but again, poor defending from AC Milan, and a 5-1 comfortable win over 2 legs. A sensational away performance at the San Siro when Arsenal had to step up and when they had to count themselves. And these were the 2 games that really were going to see if the players were behind the manager, whether they wanted to play for the shirt. And these were defining games, and Arsenal passed the test, rather comfortably in the end. You could argue of how poor AC Milan were at the San Siro tonight. They were slightly better, but, over the 2 legs, we were just, just a cut from a different class from at times, and we just absolutely deserved it over 2 legs. We just outsmarted, outwitted, and out-tacticked Milan in kind of every, position, to be fair. And, credit to Arsene Wenger, his substitutional decisions that he made to bring on Kolasinac, Elneny to hold on to what we've got, and what he did and the tactics that he instilled over these 2 legs have been perfect. And it's all smiles. Yes, and I always keep saying, at the end of every analysing Arsenal, it doesn't change my feelings that I still want Arsene Wenger to leave at the end of the season. I want the board to go. These players are still not good enough, right? But they are doing what they need to do, and they are capable. These players are capable of putting these kind of performances in, and it was splendid tonight from the boys. It really, really was. Yes, we got fortune from the referee, but overall and over the 180 minutes, we were classful. We were absolutely world class. In certain specific moments, and overall game was very, very, very good, and it shows you that these Arsenal players can do it. They can do it. It's just the fact that they have to want it. and if they don't want to play, in any kind of game, and it is absolutely unprofessional and there is no excuse for it, but if they don't want to play and they don't want to, put on the shirt and actually play for the good name of Arsenal Football Club, we're going to get tepid, weak, spineless, crippling performances like we have done over the last couple of weeks. But, after losing 4 straight games and being basically, incidentally, at rock bottom, to have 3 wins on the spin. We've got a nice 2.5 week break because obviously we're not in the FA Cup and with international football. And our next game's on April 1st as we take on Stoke City, and we can just sit back, relax and see who we get in the draw tomorrow in the Europa League quarterfinals. Now, for me, the only team I don't want to get is Atletico. Obviously, we have to, if we're going to win the Europa League, unless, Atletico have a shock on the cards for themselves, we're going to have to beat them at some point because I certainly think they're going to get into the final. But at this stage, I don't want them right now. I'd happily take them in the final because the final game is anybody's, to win. It's who basically wants it more on that day. And at this particular moment, the form that Atletico Madrid on, there's a very, very good. And the probability of them giving us an absolute spanking is very, very likely. And, CSK Moscow, who I think, when I last checked, they were beating Lyon. Lyon are one of the favourites, but I'd take one of those sides, and I don't really know who else is in the draw, but as long as we don't get Atletico tomorrow, I'll be happy. But even if we get Atletico, on our day, we could beat absolutely anybody. If we can play to, the standard that we know we can set, and if we can play to 110%, then we can beat absolutely anybody, and we are one of the favourites to win this competition. It is, of course, our only avenue to get into the Champions League next season. I don't want to be in this competition this time next season. We're not going to get it through the Premier League. So, as long as we're winning games, as long as we're progressing into the later rounds, there's, no regrets and there's no, rants and raves from, myself because, we're doing everything that we need to do. We've beaten Milan, comfortably and have a comprehensive 2, big performances against them, and we can just sit back, relax and, pick up from where we left off and continue this winning run and get back-to-back Premier League wins against Stoke. It's nice to have a lengthy break. Arsenal can sit back, they can regroup, rejoin, go again. We're going to probably have Lacazette fresh from injury when we come back for the next set of games in April. So all in all, a very, very good performance from the boys, and I'm very, very happy. And yeah, that's basically all I've really got to say, on the matter. I really agree with the team selection 100%. The players put in fabulous performances. Milan were poor over the 2 legs. They had a couple of decent chances. Yes, the referee was in our favour, but all in all, a very, very good performance for the boys. And we roll into the last 8, and we've overcome a round of 16 game for the first time in 8 years. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Your guys' support to Analyse Arsenal has been absolutely amazing recently, so thank you so much for that. Please be sure to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Check out my other great content as well. And I will rejoin you for Analysing Arsenal on the 1st of April. Yes, we have got a 2.5 week break because of international football not being in the FA Cup. And we do have Stoke City, which is a bogey side for us, at the Britannia on Easter Sunday. So between now and the next Analysing Arsenal, I've got some big videos in terms of my Fortnite funnies. I've got a very special 1-year video that is hopefully going to come out Monday or Tuesday, and also the DJ Bagpuss show. I've hopefully got a very special podcast lined up, but we might change things around, but there is going to be at least 3 or 4 videos between now and the next Analysing Arsenal video, so stay tuned for all of that good stuff. And yes, we move on to the Europa League last 8. Let's see who we face tomorrow. I'm going to put something on my Twitter during the draw tomorrow, as I always like to do. And yeah, take care, and I shall speak to you all later. And thank you, boys, for making another night a very, very happy night for me as well. Take care, and I shall see you all later.